Well, you guys did this really brilliant little. It was a sketch, on vendor meals.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got the bride and the groom coming to the stage for the first dance.
And you guys did it in such a great way that it told a story and it kind of got a point across.
Yeah.
But I would love to kind of just have it said that there's a reason behind this.
Yeah.
Okay? You guys work an average of a 10-hour day. I have to say, sometimes it's 12 or 13, right? Mm-hmm. But you guys are working every single minute of that day.
Yeah.
And you're hungry. And I try to keep feeding you with, water and, and protein bars and stuff. But, that hot meal that you get to have, and you get to sit down and put your feet up for half an hour to be luxurious, right? It's so important to help fuel you for your energy to kind of go on for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure you guys have stories. Do you have any stories you want to share about vendor meal?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of experiences. Some crazier than others, right? And going back to your point, it's, we're not demanding too much. We're not asking too much. Very humble. It's something nice to look forward to because the rest of the day is so hectic.
Right. Yeah.
And we're in charge of capturing everything. So we have to be ready at any moment to capture said everything.
Right. Yeah.
And so, there's been instances where, by the time it's time to eat, we'll eat last. Which doesn't help us because there's not much to film while people are eating. So we might as well be eating at the same time as the rest of everyone. That way we can be ready for toast.
Yeah.
And so when that doesn't happen and then, vendor meals get pushed back to later, then, sometimes they'll give us our vendor meals 5 minutes before the toast starts.
Right.
And it's not just that we can get our meals and wait to eat them. We have to set up for toast. Mm-hmm. We have to,
set up. What do you mean set up? What do you
So we have to set up lights because we light our toast. We have to set up cameras and tripods. Mm-hmm. We have to make sure that the audio is recording and working properly. There are things that we have to do and communicate with the DJ on where the mic stand needs to go or where they need to give the toast. So our lights actually light the correct thing.
Right.
So in those cases, you need like half an hour before that happens.
Yeah.
Right? So then if you're served dinner after the guests, then that butts right up against that. And you don't have you either don't have the time to eat or you don't have the time to prepare. Something suffers.
Mm-hmm. Right? And then sometimes it's not like we're just waiting like in the same area as the guests to eat sometimes. Sometimes we might get put into a different room that's a little farther away than we would like to be able to hear what's going on, to make sure we're not missing anything. Sometimes impromptu things happen, during the reception, so it'd be nice to even capture that.
Mm-hmm.
But when there's no set time that says, hey, like if we can all just, this is our break, and that way everyone can come back at the same time for toast and those other important elements, That's my biggest thing about vendor meals is the timing and when do we get them.
Right.
The other half of it is sometimes it's a cold meal, sometimes it's, a boxed lunch or something like that, which definitely are not my favorite. I prefer a hot meal, I really prefer that. And sometimes it's insult to injury when it's a boxed lunch, but then they still don't have it ready.
Right. At the time that you need. Yeah.
So sometimes, you may feel like a little left out or an afterthought,
Yeah, I don't think it's anybody's fault or anybody having any malintent. It's simply just a symptom of no planner a lot of the time, or just like a experienced planner sometimes. I think that's the main cause of that problem, because the main cause of our vendor meals being off schedule is the wedding being off, or the event in general being off schedule.
Yeah.
So if everything, because it's the last priority. At the end of the day, us eating is the last priority because we have to get what we have to get in terms of food.
I just don't want to miss anything.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like, if stuff's off schedule, then it becomes hard for us or difficult for us to know when we can eat because then there's almost not even really a designated time. That time is sort of evaporated because now we're in new time with this new schedule.
The new delay.
Right.
Oh, it's 20 minutes behind.
Right.
You know, it's like, what does that mean?
Right. And,
Yeah.
For us.
and on weddings with really solid planners and really good communication,
Communication. Yeah.
that just doesn't happen. Even if it goes off schedule, it gets back on.
Yeah.
You know, and so and also if you have a decent planner, then they know how to take care of the vendor meal situation. It's a thought that they have, like, oh, let's make sure our vendors are taken care of.
Yeah.
So I think it just comes down to getting yourself a good planner.
Yeah, I know we're talking a lot about this, and to some people it might seem like, geez, guys, you're complaining. You're being paid to work there. So what's the big deal? But it's an appreciation for your level of skill and for the amount of energy this takes, and that you have had no time in the last 8 hours to sit down, to breathe, and to eat something that can sustain you until 11:30 or 12 o'clock at night. And that relates right back to the quality of the product.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a big deal to us, is because we want the opportunity to deliver to the couple absolute best work that we can. And to do that, we have to be at our best.
Yeah.
Which means hydrated and fed and nourished. So we were just, we spent a lot of time on it, but we want for people to know that this is important in what they get delivered at the very end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't want to have just started eating, 5 minutes before toast, and then toast come, and then, maybe not all of our cameras are recording yet, and Dad has already grabbed the mic and started talking.
Yeah, we set up and get a bad angle because we didn't,
Right.
we didn't have the 5 minutes to plan out and scope out where we're gonna set the tripod. A million things can happen.
Yeah.
If you did with just the slightest, miscues.
Yeah.
So.
We also understand that stuff happens.
Yeah.
And we understand and we work with everybody just as best as we can.
Yeah, that's it. It's just like working with people and communicating with people. As long as everybody's talking on the day of, if everybody's chatty with each other, then everybody's gonna have a good day.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part.
Absolutely. And this all goes back to building those relationships before the wedding actually happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there we go. It's all about pre-planning and getting to know everybody so you can work as a real team.
Yeah.
It is skyrocketing.
I actually don't know if I've ever paid attention to if someone shakes with their left hand. I don't know.
No, they don't. I don't know if anybody's ever shaken with their left hand.
If somebody extends their left hand to me, I don't trust them. It's a weird move, man. Hit me with the.
Well, it's just, what you're doing is you're showing your sword hand, right? You don't have a weapon in it. That's the whole idea. Between shaking hands is you have an empty hand.
Oh. But my sword's like in my pocket though, or like in the sheath, so I can just pull it out.
I don't know.
You have to do it with your left hand. Most people aren't left-handed. This one is engaged. This one really isn't like that
can't get to the
functional.
sword over. Yeah.
It's always on this side.
That's so interesting.
That's so cool.
Same thing about like spiral staircases.
Yeah.
They're meant for people coming down right-handed, not for people going up.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they spiral in that certain direction.
Oh.
Because they're for attackers coming down. To inhibit the people coming up.
Oh.
Because they're not meant to be climbed.
Not with a sword in your right hand. Not with a weapon.
Oh, yeah, because that's so.
That's where the center pole is, right? When you come down, you've got the extra room.
That's so funny.
I was always thinking whenever I try to take my sword up a spiral staircase, I'm always like, why is this hard? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this so difficult?
Why did they make this so hard
It's
on me?
almost like it was on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I guess so.
It was on purpose. Little things
That's
Anne
crazy.
knows. This is so weird.